Hey, what's going on YouTube? Willie Coltrane here. Welcome to my office. It's interesting for me, at least, to talk into a camera here because the last couple of months, the only time I've filmed myself doing anything was in a deer blind. Yeah, this is interesting. So, the reason I'm in my office and the reason this video is a little different than some of my normal stuff, which I don't know, I have so few things on YouTube that what's normal, but um, I just wanted to share some experience I had this deer season. This is the first season I've really taken deer hunting very seriously. I have sat in deer stands before without a lot of luck, but it was just because let me go down there and sit um, without really having done any prep or research or anything like that. But this year was the first year I was like, I really want to harvest a deer. It's also the first season that I've bow hunted. I've shot bow and arrows before, but I made sure I had good equipment and took the time to get proficient at it, and harvested a deer with bow and arrow, which I thought was really neat. What's also interesting is as I was deer hunting, I tried to film everything. I tried to make sure that if I was gonna shoot a deer, it was gonna be on camera. And what's funny about that is I have tons of footage of seeing deer, me being in a deer stand or a deer blind or something like that, or a tree stand. I have tons of footage of that. And the two deer that I shot this year did not make it on camera. The first one was I shot a doe during archery season, and basically, as I was on my way to the tree stand, I realized I didn't have the camera with me, and I didn't feel like turning around to go get it. And sure enough, that was the morning where I shot my first deer. I shot my first deer ever, which was a doe with a bow and arrow. And I did film kind of the reaction after that, and some of the blood tracking, and then finding the deer. I wound up just with my phone filming myself with some of that, but I didn't get the shot. And then during rifle season, I shot a nice buck, and I'll include a picture here. And that was another situation where I had been filming myself. I'd been filming the whole experience as much as I could. And right as I'm fixing to get out of the deer stand, I turn off all the cameras. I hadn't unloaded the gun yet, but I'm like turning everything off, getting ready to climb down, and I look up and there he is. And so really, I didn't want to fool around with turning the camera back on and getting all that stuff set up because it was getting toward the end of shooting light, and I didn't want to fool around with the camera and turn everything back on. So I just picked the gun up, took the shot, and then I filmed the aftermath, I guess, of going and finding it. I'll include some of that footage here, but this video is more a reflection and some lessons I learned the hard way about a mistake that I made, and basically having an encounter with the number one target buck this season and not getting the job done. So I hope this is helpful and enlightening. Learn from my mistakes. It's definitely a learning experience for myself in what did I do wrong and how can I do better next time. So I've got my computer here. We're going to look at the footage of myself and the deer, and I'll give you the play-by-play of what I was thinking, and then we're going to go back and I'm going to walk through my thoughts now, having looked back at this, and what should I have done, and then hopefully that leads to in the future being more prepared and ready to take advantage of an opportunity. Okay, so now just to give you some background here. Like I said, this is kind of the first year that I took deer hunting really seriously. So late summer, early fall, I was putting out corn. I had game cameras out everywhere. getting an idea of where deer are moving and how many and what do we even have to look for here. And I see this massive 12-point buck. I think it is, to me, it's once in a lifetime kind of deer where I'm at on my property. I'm not paying to go hunt a high fence or something like that. Like, this is on my property out in the wild, like, and we have this huge deer. Basically what after seeing him a couple of times on game camera and kind of getting an idea of his patterns and stuff, what I noticed is he would move through our area where I live. Usually I'd see him late at night, like passing through or stopping to eat some corn or whatever. I'd catch him on camera late at night, and then he'd be around the next morning, and then it would be days and he wouldn't be there. And then all of a sudden he'd come in one evening or super late or super early in the morning, and he'd still kind of be around like the next morning at shooting light. So I got a notification from my trail camera that he was walking through at night. And I thought, okay, tomorrow morning is the morning. I don't even have a blind set up. I don't have a good spot down here, but I know this deer is passing through. So I'm just going to go try to find a little spot, and you'll see in the video. I'm in the edge of the tree line, kind of in some bushes. I've got a tree suit on. And it's just literally me on a little stool and my camera tripod. And so yeah, I'm just literally just sitting in the edge of a tree in a tree suit with my bow and arrow and some cameras rolling. So here we go. Alright, so that sound you just heard is him jumping over the barbed wire fence, and he caught, I guess, the top strand, and it rattled or whatever. So I'm like, what's that? Kind of looking over in that direction. I'm kind of very slowly kind of looking through the branches. I can't see anything yet, and then I see like brown. I'm like, oh, there he is. All right, so in the shot here now I can see that it's the buck, and I'm like frozen. I'm like, oh my god, it's him. I get my rangefinder up, and I'm like looking through the rangefinder. I get a range on him, and I drop the rangefinder like this, and here in a second you'll see his reaction. Boom, he sees me. He saw the movement. I assume that's what it was, because it was like eyes immediately on me. I don't know if he heard kind of my clothing or just saw the little bit of movement of me putting that rangefinder down. But I remember getting a range, and it was like 19 yards. And as I'm like slowly lowering it down, boom, he's on me. My heart is pounding out of my chest. In the moment, I'm thinking, be so still, be so still. Maybe he'll think you're a bush. Maybe he'll put his head back down to go eat some more corn, and then you can get your bow up. But just be really, really still right now. And I'm like trying really hard to control my breathing, but instead I'm going like, and I'm like, I'm moving so much. It's really silly. But yeah, so now we have a staring contest, and it goes on for what felt like eternity, but see, his eyes are just locked on me, and he starts doing this, like, he stomps. And we're just staring each other down, and I'm the whole time like, be very still. Maybe he'll think you're a tree. Maybe he'll think you're a bush, and he'll go back to eating. But the thing with big bucks is they're so on edge, especially ones that have matured and they're this size, and this nice big deer that's still alive. Like, he's still alive for a reason. He's good at surviving. And so they're very skittish. At this point he's starting to take some steps back, but he's still kind of doing this stomp thing, figuring out what's over there. I have a moment here where I think I can get the bow up. So he takes a step back. He's going to turn here and kind of walk away. So he takes his eyes off me now, and this is where I'm like, okay, let me get the bow up. He looks back, he's like perfectly broadside. I have a shot. And then you can hear it. I draw the arrow, I draw the bow. That's me drawing, and he takes off, and he's gone. I do kind of immediately like pop out of the woods right there and just see, maybe he stopped like right around the edge of the trees. Maybe I can try to get a shot on him, but he's basically gone. So that was what was going through my head is, oh my God, it's him. Let me get a range so I can take the shot. He notices me and I freeze. I'm like, in my mind, just be a bush. Be so still. Because maybe he'll go back to sniffing the ground looking for corn. But at that point, he knows I'm there. I'm busted. There's nothing I can do. I missed my opportunity. And say what you will about this deer. To me, he's huge. He's got a fantastic rack, big body. He's the biggest deer I've ever seen at this place. All right, so let's go back. And I'm going to go play by play of what I should have done. So this is after seeing the footage, after living the experience and thinking, ah, I miss it. In fact, you can hear me when he runs off. I'll play it for you. He busted me. Man, I'm bummed. So bummed. Anyway, yeah, it's hard to relive that moment. My white whale. Like this. So now, okay. Now we're going to go back, watch it again, and I'll give you kind of, after having reflected on the moment, what I should have done. Okay, there goes the barbed wire. Now, that's literally 4 seconds after turning the camera on and recording. He just shows up. It's great. But we need to talk about what to do before so that you're ready to take a shot. So the thing that killed me was I waited till he got out where I could see him, took a range with my rangefinder, and as I was lowering the eyepiece away from my face, his head immediately pops up and he's staring me down. Having given this some thought and thinking, what could I do better next time? Eliminate the rangefinder, right? But wait, especially with archery, and we're talking about a few yards makes a huge distance, you've got to know how far away this deer is so you know where to hold. So what I like to do when I get to where I'm hunting is I take ranges of landmarks, and then this particular spot, it's like this clump of grass here in the open field is 20 yards away. That cow patty is, 25. There's a low spot in this little hill, so I kind of know where the edge of that ridge is like 30 something yards. But have landmarks that you know the ranges of, so when the deer is walking around, you don't have to waste time picking it up, pressing the button, putting it back down, then getting ready to draw. You already have a good idea of where he's at. Before you're even ready to take a shot, know your distances in the area that you're hunting. So, right here, he jumps the fence. Okay, I hear him. What is that? Get the bow up. Get ready to draw. I can tell it's a deer. He's going to show up right on the edge of the frame. I know it's a deer. I'm going to go ahead and draw before he gets close. And I'm going to do that nice and slowly and quietly. And now as he walks in, so I draw at about 10 seconds in this video. I can tell it's a deer. He's walking over, he's shaking, he's wagging his tail, he's sniffing around. I've been at draw for like 15 seconds, 20 seconds maybe. Alright, so his head comes out into the opening where I have a lane where I can aim at him, find my shot, right? Because of where he is and I know my landmarks, I have a good idea of the distance. And this deer is like inside of 20 yards, so it's not that hard. So he finally pokes his head out around the brush. He's still holding right about there. He gives me a perfect broadside double lung shot. His back leg, or the leg away from me, is back, but I'm okay with this shot because he's dead broadside. I've been holding the draw for, if I started at around 10 seconds, we're at 37 seconds in the video. That's 27 seconds of holding that draw, which should be fine. And right here is the moment where I should let an arrow go. He doesn't know I'm there yet. He gives me another opportunity here. even if I'm taking my time picking my shot and he sees me, now he's turning toward me. I don't really want to take a quartering to kind of shot. Stare me down. Even watching this back, my heart is like kind of sort of beating a little faster. And it's like, ah. And then I'm thinking to myself, take the shot, you idiot. He's right there. Do it. But anyway. So let's say I take some time and he does kind of see me. If I'm ready to take if I'm holding the bow at draw, this is a long time to do that, but, you know, practice that maybe, I don't know. He's about to give me another angle. At this point he's taken a couple steps back, so he might be closer to 25, 30 yards. Boom, right here, as soon as he turns, if I had waited, but I have the bow up, I have the bow up and at full draw. I'm ready to take a shot when I need to. As soon as he turns, I can hit him now. And he gives me this other broadside where he's still for just a second. There's a shot. I aim low to kind of compensate for if he's looking right at me, he's going to duck as soon as he sees an arrow flying at him. Yeah. So at this point, if I had been ready to take my shot, he'd have been down 4 or 5 times already. He's given me a couple of different options as far as taking a good shot on a deer. For like, if you're aiming for double lung, yeah. Anyway, so be prepared to take the shot early by knowing your ranges. As soon as you are aware that there's a deer in your area, especially if you're on the ground, you better be ready, because, like I said, big bucks, they've survived as long as they have for a reason. They're careful. They're skittish. They get sketched out super easily, and if there's anything wrong, they're going to get out of there. So be ready early by knowing your ranges. As soon as they're in the area, I would get ready to draw, or at least be in a position to where I can draw quickly before they notice I'm there. And then as soon as they give you the shot, take it. That's what I would do if I had this to do all over again. I'll go ahead and show you some of the footage of the deer that I did shoot. Again, I don't have the actual shots on camera, but I have I don't have the actual shots on camera, but I do have kind of the after, what I'm thinking, finding the deer, that kind of stuff. So I'll roll that in here too. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. This is something that, it's a lesson that I hate to learn the hard way. But maybe you don't have to have this disappointment if you kind of think about these things before you're even ready to shoot a deer. So I will roll in the footage of myself reflecting on after this deer has been shot, but not by me. So stay tuned for that. Till next time, we out here. Happy hunting. Alright, I don't know if you can tell by the camera, but I'm shaking right now. I just took my first shot with the bow on a doe. I think it hit her. I'm going to go down and start looking for a blood trail here in a few minutes, but I'm just going to try and calm down a little bit. I might walk to the car and try to find a camera. I heard a big crash kind of outside of the range where I can see. I'm trying to just take some deep breaths. I had 4 right out in front of me. I didn't bring the GoPro. I got out of the car and I started walking, and I didn't want to walk back because I was late this morning. And they came in just a few minutes after I sat down. And what I had to do is go from a sitting position, because I have this cage around me on this stand. I went from a sitting position to a standing position. I did that as slow as possible, and it seemed to kind of alert them, and they started moving off, and one tailed behind. And I'm shaking right now. Hopefully we got a deer down. I'm gonna go look. Okay. I'm gonna go get the other camera, or maybe I'll just film on my phone. I don't know. I'm sorry I didn't film the shot, but it was so much just to be still and quiet enough to draw and to take a shot. So I'm gonna go see what I can find. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. We got blood on an arrow that kind of looks like possible tissue. It's bright blood. Looking for bubbles. Oops, sorry. Looking for bubbles. My lighted knock didn't work, but that's okay. Let's see what this. Got hair and dirt on the broadhead. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, I just found a bloody arrow. I'm gonna start walking and looking for blood. I heard a big crash a couple seconds after. That might have just been them jumping through the woods, but it might have been this doe falling down. And I really hope she fell down on the right side of the fence, so I don't have to go making phone calls. But we're gonna track blood. So let me just show you the area where I found the arrow. So point of impact was over here, and she must have come under this tree. Man, that's crazy. So we've got blood here, going this way. So we're just gonna continue looking and trying to see splatters of blood. So we got kind of our initial vector of from here this way. You can see that patch of blood there. So I'm wondering, I'm gonna start looking around here and see our next little clue. Oh, I see more. All right, so there's some blood. Here's blood. I really hope she didn't go over that fence, but it's probable. Okay. All right, I ran over to the neighbor's house, caught them just as they were fixing to leave the driveway to go to work, so they were cool with it. I have permission to go over to their side and go looking, so I'm gonna get back on some blood trail. Might let it lay for a minute, give it about 30 minutes or so before I even head out, but I know where to look. I'm excited. This is cool. I'm gonna have meat in the freezer. All right, so I went onto my neighbor's property. There's a creek back kind of behind me here, and then right in front of me where I'm facing now is where I was hunting earlier this morning. And as I'm driving down, this is what I come across out in the middle of the field. Here she is, just right out in the middle of the field. Got ants on her. Perfect shot. Right, man, she's covered in ants. Perfect shot. Let me flip her over. Ugh. Exit right behind the shoulder. I'm blown away by just the ease of this track job. I mean, she ran. We might be 100 yards away from where I shot her, and double lung, right behind the shoulder. Couldn't have asked for a better shot. Now I got to get her on the four-wheeler and back to the house and clean her up. Got a bunch of ants on her right now. She's been laying in this field for probably an hour. I got out of there. I went and ate some breakfast. Gave her some time to expire. Didn't need that much time. Gave the ants an opportunity to come get some. But we're gonna get her home. Start getting her cleaned up. Well, deer number 1 on the hit list is down. There's just one problem. It wasn't me who took the shot. So I'm sitting down in the blind. This is one of the biggest deer in our little area out here. And I'm thinking to myself, I heard the shot go off and I was like, I bet you it was him. And sure enough, it was the nail. Like, the shot was close. Like, I could hear it in my deer blind. And I said, man, that really sounds like it was next door. So I give it a few minutes and I kind of walk over to the fence line, and I see them kind of drive down in their side by sides, and I'm just like, you know, waving them, hey, how's it going? Did you get him? Yeah. Well, how's he look? What's he look like? Said, come over and take a look. So I crawled under the fence and walked over there. And sure enough, it was that big old 12-pointer I've been after. But the good thing is, the kid who shot him is my wife's cousin, and he's a good kid, you know, responsible, and he's just a solid little dude, and he's in high school, and it sounds like he'd been kind of doing his work to get the deer to come in, and he was given a shot and he took it. And you know, selfishly, I'm kind of like, well, where'd he come from, you know? And sure enough, the trajectory he was on, if he'd have kept going, he'd have jumped over the fence to my side. But you know, it's hard, but that's hunting, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's a good kid. He deserves it. And there's other deer, and it's still early in the season, so we'll see. But yeah, it was kind of hard to see that one on the ground and be like, man, that was the one I was after. But yeah, I guess the hunt continues. All right, just took a shot on a buck right at the end of shooting light. He was there. I looked up and he was there. I got him in the scope. Nice big wide spread. It's time to go find him. Oh man. I think I heard the impact of the bullet, which is kind of crazy. But I saw where he ran. I'm hoping that he didn't go too far. Oh, nice big buck. I'm so excited. All right. I have been looking for like 10 minutes for blood. I have not seen one drop. However, I saw which direction he ran. We got a nice big deer on the ground. So I'm going to try to, he ran to the neighbor's side. I'm going to slide him under the fence, but we have a nice big old deer down. Oh, but he is beautiful. Oh, focus. Big, mature buck, beautiful deer. I'm so stoked. I'm really upset that I didn't have the camera running when I took the shot, but I was literally like about to get out of the blind, and I look up and I see this guy just in the middle of the pasture. I didn't see him walk in. He was just there. So I'm gonna drag him to my side of the fence and take a look at, let's get a better look at him. All right, here he is. This is a beautiful deer. I'm so excited about this. Big, beautiful deer. Very small entrance wound. Flipped over. Maybe I can't do this one-handed. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see an exit. Oh, I feel it though. Come on, focus. Maybe if I turn my headlamp off. Come on. Yeah, so I can feel the bullet or something's right here. So no exit wound, very small entrance wound, but it took him down. Oh man, look at him, he's beautiful. Yeah, nice thick neck. This is a good deer right here. I'm so excited. I'm glad I didn't have to look very far for him.